All right. So now that we finally got our hole in the buoy, I want to get the solar charger for this ready, which means we have to cut this board. Yeah, and we know, I already outlined in a previous video where the GPS circuit is, and the solar circuit is all of this up here. We can make a cut right along here. With what remains. And that'll be our solar charger. It's going to include some capacitors and things that we don't need, but you know, we can deal with that for later. But we just don't want to damage any of the important circuits, and then we can cut any traces off if we're getting erroneous components powered. So it's not the capacitors cut through no problem, it's the coils that you got to pry off the board. Okay, and that was actually the part of the circuit we want to save. If you've never had the pleasure of sawing through a electrolytic capacitor, I have to say it was pretty easy. I thought maybe it was going to be a problem, but honestly you wouldn't even know that it was there. Okay, we're going to have some hot spots, but so be it. We're rolling. Solar panels in. Let's see if it's putting out any power. This would be to the power to the battery. As you can see, we have 5 volts. Not bad. It's not in total sunlight either. So I feel like we haven't broken our input. So plugging it all up the right way. I think we've done it, folks. There's our complete, There's our complete battery pack. Not bad. Obviously we aren't using this bottom pack, but let's put it in the sun, see what happens. All right, it's charging up. There's our cells, there's another buoy. But yeah, that went very well. I think that we're gonna have a power source for this thing, a power source and an enclosure, which is all that was missing. Okay, and there's one more thing I want to do. We actually want to find a good place to plug in our switching regulator for the Raspberry Pi. You know what we could maybe do? We could maybe remove one of these diodes, short it, and then use one of the other battery pack plugs and use that cable as the plug. Okay, I'm just getting ready for my first electrical test with the buoy out here in the garden. We'll just put it in the sun and see how long it runs. But I just want to do a quick run through of what's going on. So this is the hydrophone itself, no problems. Here's our cable, and it goes through this cable gland. And the way these work is you have to remove the jacket before it passes through. And because this hole is so small, I want to be able to take it in and out of the hole in the buoy. So, you know, I have these individually bootlace crimped leads that I'm using to hook it up to the USB recorder. So this is like a very homespun junction block, but there it goes. I've shorted all the matching pins together. So that matches up. So through the buoy bulkhead, now we're inside the buoy, to the USB recorder, into the Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is the SIM module and the antenna. And then this is the 5-volt regulator. It's a switching regulator. They're a dime a dozen. Not a dime, maybe $10. And then this is our battery pack and solar panel. So what I've done, as I did in a previous video, I shorted out one of those diodes Can we see the short? There it is. Diode 10. So now this just acts now that's just on the power bus directly. It used to be battery connector, now it's directly to the power bus. So if we plug in here, if I can I do it while filming? Not so much. But voila, we're powering on, baby. Yeah, so my plan is just to kind of put all these components in here and see how long it will record for. We have the System D service running. I think the weakest link at this point is actually this connector for the cell modem. It's a huge, it just falls off so easily. Anyway, super tempted to throw this in the water this weekend, but given how much motion is in the ocean, having like a decent way to mount everything is pretty important. Okay, and there's the buoy there. There's the ocean out there. So hopefully in the next couple days we'll actually get it in the water. Hopefully within the next week. I have to work this week. I think the big weak point right now is, as it stands in the circuit, there's no way to like shut down remotely and restart. So it's kind of hard to manage power. We don't have feedback for the battery. I did get some like Adafruit low power timer kind of things. So I think if that all works, the next step would be scheduling sleep cycles. So that way the battery isn't just running all the time. All right, that test today did not go as planned. I was able to log in for a few minutes and things had started up nicely. And I was like gonna start tweaking things. I was gonna like work on tail scale and like making sure like it was accessible globally and like all this stuff, but it died. The whole thing died so fast. And when I started the test off, it was at like 11.5 volts, which I thought like, okay, nominal 12 volts is pretty good. But then reading up on nickel metal hydride discharge curves, you're pretty close to dead. So I'm giving the pack an initial charge now tonight. Yeah, the chemistry is new to me. The battery is old, so maybe like the capacity is a little low, but like it should be. I mean, that's if it doesn't make it to 5 hours, that's half capacity. So I don't know. I need to do a little more reading. Maybe test some of the other battery packs we have lying around. Yeah. I'll keep you posted.